In addition to what we have seen, Pandas has some reshaping methods that are designed to work on data frames with multi-level indexes. In this slide, we see a data frame with multi-level index on the row. Why would we want to have them? A multi-index, also known as multi-level index, allows us to store and manipulate multidimensional data in simple data frames. Let's start by learning how to create a multi-index. Imagine we have the following data frame. There are several ways to create a multi-level index. The simplest one is to use the setIndex method. In the example code, we specify that we want the columns country and age to be set as row indexes. We also set the in-place argument to true to change the original data frame directly. As a result, we get a data frame with a multi-level index on the rows. Another option is to use the method fromArrays from multi-index. In this case, we define a list of lists named newArray. Each element represents one index. We call the fromArrays method, passing newArray and a list of names we want for the indexes. We assign it to the original data frame index by calling the index attribute. As a result, we get a data frame with two indexes on the rows, member and credit card. We could also define a data frame with multi-level indexes on the rows and on the columns. The process is very similar. We create two multi-indexes using the method fromArrays, one for the index and one for the columns. When we create the data frame, we set the index and the columns to be the recently created multi-level indexes. As a result, we get a data frame with multi-level indexes on the rows and on the columns. The stack method will reshape the data frame with a multi-level index by converting it into a stacked form. In other words, stacking means rearranging the innermost column index to become the innermost row index. Let's take our data frame that had a multi-level index on the rows. We apply the stack method. We have a simple column index. So, stack will compress the last level in the data frame columns to produce a series, as we can see in the output. Now, let's work with the patient's data. This data frame has a multi-level index in the columns. We'll apply the stack method. As a consequence, stack will compress the last level in the columns to produce a data frame, as we see in the output. It is also possible to choose which level to stack. In the example code, we want to stack the first column level. So, we set the level argument to 0. Now the stacked level becomes the new lowest level in the row multi-level index. It is important to remember that if we don't set the level argument, stack will move the last level by default. Our data frame has named column levels, so we can specify the level to stack by passing in the column name. In the code, we set level to year. In the resulting data frame, we see that the year level has now become the innermost row level. Now you know how to stack data frames. Let's practice.